Online, and I am here with the great eight-time Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney. And I want to thank you for coming on today, Lee. We just started our series, and guess who our first guest is? You.
Oh my goodness. Well, man, I am honored. I am honored because, I am an NPC baby. I was the first one that Jim gave birth to.
And when we were doing this interview, Jim said, make sure you say hi to Lee. He goes, I love that guy. He's my favorite.
And Jim is my favorite, man. As I said, I was the first NPC champion back in 1982, plus the first NPC junior national champion and national champion. So Jim was there from day one to help guide me through my career. And, it's amazing. And I just finished sharing the story a little bit earlier today as it relates to where bodybuilding was before Jim got the reins to it and took it to the next level. I recall a day, man, back when the AAU ran bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, we were secondary to powerlifting. Bodybuilders didn't take the stage until the powerlifting events were over, which sometimes went to 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I recall being on the stage at 1 o'clock in the morning, with a little goofy light dome thing.
Light bulb on the stage.
Oh, yeah, man, standing on top of a little square box that may have been maybe 6 by 6 or something like that. So it was real Stone Age. And to see the vision of Jim and where he is taking the bodybuilding from, and especially giving it its own identity, that is absolutely incredible. So I love Jim, all that he's done in creating the NPC, and now it's a voice all over the world that a lot of us can enjoy what we love doing.
What infuriates me is every time I hear, this guy's going to take bodybuilding mainstream. Now, you were just talking about back in the day. Now, when you go to a show, there's 1,000, 1,500 competitors. They're getting more attention than ever before. You had the magazines back in the day. Now you have people sharing photos from the contest in the millions. So it's just incredible the amount of eyes that are on, all three organizations. You can't compare it to back in the day because you only had the magazines. You had to wait 3 months to find out. I remember a kid, Greg, getting Flex magazine. I'm like, Lee Haney won. Now it's instantaneously.
Months later.
Yeah, I mean, Jim, grew this organization to the fact where there's something for everyone now. Back in the day, we had bodybuilding. You had women's bodybuilding and fitness later on. We didn't have, we didn't have all these other, categories and divisions and age groups. And I think it's great. He's just created something that's miraculous. It's great for everybody.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I love so much about it too, because there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
If you're just a regular fitness buff, hey, you got the physique division.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a step above that, is now classic physique.
Sure.
Step above that is now bodybuilding. And I don't say a stepping above or trying to demean any of the division, but I'm just saying there's different categories and there's something for everybody as well as the men's and also the ladies. Now, we now have what is called the wellness division.
Yeah.
So the ladies with the thicker legs and so forth who will never have their legs, get as ripped as Sid Gillian. That's not going to happen.
Right.
So, but they have a place to compete also. So I love that. And it says a lot about where the sport is now. See, most people say, well, they don't. See, when you don't know where it came from, you can appreciate where it is today.
Absolutely.
And I love that. It's absolutely incredible. And I love what is happening. I love what will continue to happen too. The PR, what we're doing now online with the social media.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely incredible. I just finished having a talk with Sharu, from India.
Yeah.
Here we are talking on the telephone. We're talking about bodybuilding. We're talking about the things that we love.
Sure.
And man, it has connected us to the world. And that was because of the seeds that Jim Manion planted. Himself and the founders, which of course, you got to say Joe Weider and Ben.
Hmm.
So Jim forged a relationship with them real early to take bodybuilding to the next level. And I love the fact that that is on Jim's shoulder because he have blood and skin in the game. His mindset comes from the side of a competitor. He
Right.
competed back in the day against Robbie Robinson. They competed with each other. So he understands how we feel as athletes and wanted to make sure that we're getting the very best of opportunities.
He has passion for the sport, and you know when you have passion for anything, you know he's all in, you know,
Yeah,
and it's easy to
all in.
it's easy to crash a business, you know. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
many people get a business, they crash it. I mean, he's been growing it every year. Every year we get more and more competitors. The Team Collegiate Masters Nationals, 4 or 5 day show, 14, 1,500 competitors. The Universe, 1,200 competitors. NPC Nationals, you started what, 82?
Right, 1982.
1982. I mean, huge show right now. I mean, you would be a two-time pro now. You won the Junior Nationals overall, and you won the Nationals
Hey,
overall.
hey, Frank, listen, I had to earn my stripes, man.
Yeah.
These youngsters these days, man, it was only what about 5 pros a year? Mostly four. You would get the lightweight, middleweight, light heavy, and
Mhm.
heavyweight. Then I think the bantamweight came along later. But
Yeah.
man, we're talking 4 to 5 pros the whole year. And I
Yep.
mean, you had to qualify. I mean, I had to first win a regional show like the Atlantic USA, which then qualified me for the junior nationals. Then after winning the junior national, qualified me for the NPC national. Then that qualified me for the IBB World Championship. So listen, it's a whole nother world. So which is a good world? Which is a good world? I'm a little jealous of it. I think I had to work hard. And these guys are being handed candy, you know?
Well, you had to earn your stripes. It's funny. I was in CVS pharmacy not too long ago, and there was an older woman, probably maybe late 50s, 60, with her daughter. And I was like, oh, the daughter comes over to me and she says, oh, my mom's a big fan of the NPC. She just competed in, the North Americans or what it was, the Masters. I was like, you know what? This is great. It's just amazing how many people are competing in different categories. People get frustrated now when they do two shows and they didn't get their pro card. You know, like you said, you had to earn it. Like, I can't believe I didn't get my pro card. How long have you been competing? 2 years. Well, it, it takes time. I know, like back in the day, when you did the North American, you were going to getting your pro card through the back door, they would say. If you didn't do the USA or the Nationals, like you're doing the North American, you got to do the Nationals. But
Yeah.
it's what's. I know you have your. I want to talk about your book,
Mhm.
and I know we spoke on the phone. And it's funny when I was coming up, and I think it was 93, 93, 94. I bought your other book, the Lee Haney Ultimate
Ultimate
Bodybuilding.
bodybuilding, right?
So I had that, and I had the videotape where you and Rope Man were training. And the one thing you always said, I would always say now, I'm like, stimulate, don't annihilate. I used to, come on, Haney.
Right.
Every time I see Rope, I go, hey, come on, Haney. It was just funny. But I just looked on Amazon for that book.
Mhm.
They want $150 for that book.
That's cool. Hey,
Go on
that's like
Amazon. So if you got any laying
hey,
around, Lee,
that's like the holy grail. Oh my goodness.
if you have any laying in the garage, put them up. You could donate it to the church, whatever. It's
Amen, man.
$150.
Golly, $100. Hey, I got to redo that book.
You gotta do part two. But I know you have the new book come out, TotalLee Awesome. The what is it, the complete guide to bodybuilding, and I like that. We have so many NPC competitors that they don't have answers. They go online, they go on Instagram, and they look, and they take this pseudoscience or someone gives them bad information. They don't do well on the show and they quit. you know, and they quit. They 16 weeks. I can't believe I look horrible, this and that. So, I'm all about getting information from credible sources. So I know that, listen, if there was a bodybuilding problem in contest prep or whatever, I'm sure you know, it's happened to you, and you've turned it into,
done that.
yeah, and you've turned it into 8 Olympia titles. So I would think that, you know, if I was a new NPC competitor and I was looking through and I'm looking through Instagram and I see, oh, I see this guy, you know, he has abs, but so let me go to a guy who's won 8 of the biggest championships in the world. It makes more sense to me. You know, I mean, you know, you give a man a fish, or if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish, you know, eat forever. The same thing. I can give you a workout. You can get a workout off Instagram. It might be good for a couple of days, but you don't have the foundation. And I like that your book teaches the foundation. You know?
Yes, and that's extremely important, Frank,
Yeah.
because in achieving anything, you have to have a good foundation,
Yeah.
and you have to have the knowledge to build upon that.
Yeah.
You know, and TotalLee Awesome, which this is the third time, Frank, that I've had this book. This is the third edition of this book. I didn't write anything new. I had a few extra things in there. However, this is the very book that helped me win the Mr.Olympia title, the first Olympia title. So guess what? If I won the first Olympia title by doing what I have in this book, then guess what? I won the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. So there wasn't, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But in this book, I have training principles. I have training systems. I also have the different type of, when you talk about carb loading, carb depleting, I talk about nutrition. I also talk about mental preparation. I have a section that talking about the competitive edge, the psyche and so forth. You know, when you hit the stage, the mindset, getting ready for, getting ready to prepare for posing, or, you know, choosing your posing trunks, choosing your music, everything from start to finish as it relates to getting ready for a show. You know, because it's important to make sure the athletes get real knowledge, been there, done that knowledge. When you go to the internet, which is great to get a lot of information from the internet, and a lot of it is true, a lot of it is great. You can also get bad information. You know, I've heard a lot of these so-called guru coaches, you know, utter the words like, there's no such thing as overtraining. And then they use some words here and they curse here and there and get all the young athletes that fight. Oh, he said a big curse word. You gotta know what he's saying.
Must be true.
It must be true. He's cursing and foaming at the mouth, you know. You gotta know.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I'm 60 years young, I would like to say. I'm running, I'm jumping, I can do everything. I can hang out with my grandkids and play with them. Listen, I have no knee, no hip, no back, no shoulder, no elbow problems, and no surgeries from doing ridiculous workout routines. My philosophy has always been trained to stimulate, not annihilate. And so that has kept me healthy throughout my entire time. And then you look at my training partner, Rope Man. Rope Man is not limping. He's not injured. Superman, who is featured in the book Training With Me, Superman is not limping, not injured, and he's 65. Then you have Rich Disparity, Rich the Itch. That's what I call him. He would never go away. Rich the Itch.
Rich the Itch and Flea Labrada.
Flea Labrada. They're my buddies, man. I had to give him a name, you know. Rich, man. You know, Rich lived with me for some time when he was training for the 84 Nationals. But I love Rich. He was with me, but guess what? No injuries. All of us went through our careers and never got hurt. Mike Christian, no injuries. Bob Parrish. See, that school of bodybuilding used scientific approach to training. We used what was handed to us, and let me be frank in saying I did not create the philosophy of training, not myself.
Right.
I found the philosophy, I discovered the philosophies and studied the one handed down by Robbie Robertson, Arnold, Tom Platz, Frank Zane, Albert Beckles, Boyer Cole, Roy Callender, name these, Bill Pearl, these great athletes who came before me is the very ones that gave me the foundation. So after putting all of that knowledge together, I pulled together the systems, the right systems that allowed me to go from being, from winning Teenage America to junior to nationals to world championship to 8-time Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
The philosophy haven't changed. It still works, including with the other athletes that I work with. So TotalLee Awesome is all of that. If you want real knowledge and not waste time, not waste money, and not tear your body apart. And at the end of the day, we all want to have our health.
Sure.
Because your health is your wealth. You tear yourself up. You don't want to retire at the age of 40 and limp for the rest of your life.
Definitely not.
Or retire, or end up at 60 and you've gone through several different surgeries. I'm blown away by how many guys tear pecs, they tear quads, they end up injuring vertebrae in their backs, they have shoulder surgeries. You never had that happen to Robbie Robinson, or Arnold, or Frank Zane, except for Frank fell off a bike to a rotator. But Christine told me that, his wife, and she laughed when she said it, and Frank didn't think it was too funny. But you never heard these type of training injuries happen in athletes. Tom just squatted 1 million pounds. No knee, no hip, no back injuries. I saw him at the Olympia a couple of years back. Walked right in, standing straight up, no hobbling, in incredible shape. And he was a master of legs. Nobody. I didn't even mentally fathom having legs like Tom.
Yeah.
That hurt too bad, man. That hurt real bad. But these philosophies are the very ones that's in the book, TotalLee Awesome, that can help these young athletes. And I'm very proud to put this book out here for the 3rd time. Now, this go around, since hamstring, the big swinging hamstring was not one of the things during my era. So guess what? I invited one of the kings of hamstring, which is Keon Pearson.
There you go.
I named this cat is the newest of Excalibur. This guy got it going on. So I have Keon there demonstrating hamstring. That's the only addition I put in here. So I got a nice shot at Keon. And then updated, I also had Sid Gillen in the book too, talking about the metamorphic female. So we talk about body type and what nutrition needs to look like based upon your body type, because we can't all eat alike. It's different.
I think that the big difference between the 70s bodybuilders and the 80s bodybuilders, the 70s bodybuilders did a ridiculous amount of volume. But Arnold trained, he trained in the morning, he trained at night, he trained a lot, but he didn't go to failure on a lot of sets too. He was in between that 6 and 15 rep range on things, And your system too, like I'm actually following something very similar to what you have. I do, one of the splits, 6-day-a-week program where you do chest and arms, you do legs, and then you do back and shoulders. Take a rest day, and then you do the same thing.
Right.
But again, you stimulate, you don't annihilate. You get a great pump, but you're not to the point where you're hurting, you're bent over. I see a lot of these guys after a workout, they look there in a car crash. And it's like,
they look terrible, man. Listen, long term, it don't work for anybody.
Yeah,
it don't. Training is 30%. 30%. The other 70% is what you eat, when you eat, and how much you eat. If you train like a horse, you cannot eat like a bird.
Right.
But it all goes back to nutrition. Always back to nutrition. You shop and stimulate the body, then you feed it, and you give it rest. If you don't, you'll blow a fuse, and you start getting injuries after that.
Well, if you think about it too, in the 83, 84, you're in the 240s on the Olympia stage. 240 pound, so like you said, people always trying to reinvent the wheel. They're like, well, at what quality?
Exactly. Frank, it took me, when I won the first Olympia in 1984, I won that Olympia at 243 pounds in 1984. When I retired in 1991, I weighed 254 pounds. So I gained only 11 pounds in the 8 Olympians. 11 pounds. So because we were careful during that era to make sure that the waist was there, the quality was there, the muscle maturity was there, because that's what was demanded during that era. You know, we couldn't, you know, and you did not want to sacrifice your waist. You don't want to sacrifice your vacuum. You don't want to
The V
sacrifice
taper. Yeah, the
V
V
taper. All of the things that made Arnold great, made Robbie great, made all of the great, Frank Zane. That's who we looked at.
Yeah.
You know, so with different eras come different looks.
Sure.
And different people that we pattern after. You know, I just gave you the names of those in which I pattern after.
Yeah.
So this new era, they pattern either after Dorian or they pattern after Ronnie. I don't think anybody can pattern after Ronnie. Ronnie is a cyclops. You know, Ronnie was bigger than Ronnie. He's a whole nother world.
I worked with Ronnie with metrics for a couple of years, and pre-contest, Ronnie would train. I was training with Ronnie in the metrics gym in Irvine, California, and this guy was squat 600-700 pounds pre-contest.
Yeah.
I trained with Dorian Yates at Bev Francis gym when he was getting ready for the Olympias. He'd come into and train over at that gym for a couple of weeks, and you know, and I was 22, 23 years old, and I'd never seen anybody that big until I saw Ronnie. I was like,
I was like, listen, all you gotta do is put an eye between Ronnie's head, and he's a cyclops. He was a whole nother era, a whole nother gladiator, and that's what I call it. You know, I hear people something, they say, well, you know, look at Ronnie's training, look what he, listen, when you're an athlete, particular professional athlete on our level, you're not your normal person. You're not your normal athlete. Any Mr. Olympias are not normal, period. We are a whole nother psyche. And so when you look at Ronnie, what he was able to accomplish, and you look at where he is now physically, if he had to do it all over again, he would still do it.
Absolutely.
So his mentality is that of a gladiator. You know, back during the Roman days, guess what? You would get killed in the arena. But we got rules to the game. Now, you don't have to get killed, but you would have still made the same sacrifice, as I would have still made the same sacrifice. You know, is some of the greatest NFL players, you know, some of them may be mentally or physically tortured today because of the trauma that their bodies went through. But guess what? They would still do it again because they are different. They're not some guy who sit behind the desk and put your pencil. They're not those kinds of people. That's what makes the great great. Muhammad Ali, you know, you look at all these guys, Tiger Woods, these are not normal people. No. We don't do normal things. We don't think with a normal mind.
One of the worst questions you ask is, do you think you're the best Mr. Olympia? Of course you do. You know, you have to. You know, like that's the dumbest question. Who do you think the best bodybuilder is? Me, right? Like that's
me. That's right. Hey, in my era, that was me.
Yeah, I mean,
Ronnie's era, it was him.
Yeah.
In Cutler's era, it was Jay. You know, and Phil Heath, it was Hill.
Yeah.
You know, hey man, Dorian, it was Hill. So everybody has their era, and Arnold. And then I have some people say, well, you know, Lee, you know, you won the '84 Olympia, and you beat Sergio. You cannot beat Sergio. You cannot beat. You don't beat a myth. Sergio was there to guest host.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that was. But you don't beat a myth. You know, a myth is a myth. Like Bill Pearl, you can't beat a Bill Pearl even if he's on stage with you.
Right.
He is the era.
Yeah. So going back to the book, you know, like you said, like we're talking about everything that you've done back then does transfer to today. It just, it's the foundation. Everything back then still works today. People of nutrition, training, everything you have to do with contest prep. So, you know, because I know everyone's always looking for the new thing, the new, like, you know, the shiny thing over here. You know, that's what everyone's looking for. But,
that's right.
So you can get the book at LeeHaney.com.
Yeah, you go to LeeHaney.com.
Yeah.
Right, you go to LeeHaney.com, go to my website. Then you can also order it through Kindle.
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble. So we got it in the
Kobo.
Yeah, Kobo.
Kobo.
So you can order it online as a download, a Kindle and that kind of deal. So it's available on all those different platforms. But if you order straight from LeeHaney.com, I'll personally autograph it and get it back to you. And so, Frank, one of the other things I really want to emphasize before we finish up here is that in TotalLee Awesome, you're also going to see a a a a a human element here, not just muscle and bones and guts. I talk about my relationship with Shirley, in which my beautiful wife, which she was my second grade sweetheart, and we've been married now for 37 years. I talk about how my mom said to me when I was just a young boy, she said, son, if you put God first in your life, he will bless you and take you around the world. And my dad would always say, son, treat people the way you want to be treated. And God will bless you for doing that. So I share that spiritual component of what was a very important part of me as I came through my journey. So my journey has been one of total joy. It's been one of victories. Yes, I've had setbacks too, but nothing I couldn't recover from. Because I've always known that if God be with me, nothing can stand against me. So it's a wonderful journey. I'm still enjoying a wonderful time in my journey. I just finished changing baby poop a few minutes ago. Let's say granddaughter poops. So it goes with the journey too.
You know, like I said before, we have so many bodybuilders, men's physique, class physique, women's figure, whatever it may be. They're all seeking answers to contest prep, to off-season questions, to, you know, posing, pretty much everything to have to do with competing, because everybody wants to win, but they just don't have the right formula. So I think the TotalLee Awesome, you know, book is exactly what they need, because you are a proven champion. The book has, you know, stood the test of time. And again, like, you have to have a foundation for everything that we spoke about to be successful, whether it's from a physical or mental, because we both know it works together, and a spiritual side too.
Yeah.
You know, I think once you do become a champion, it's important that you become the right kind of champion. Too many people get publicity, you know, for controversial reasons. Not feel someone like yourself who, like, you know, is very big in the church and helping children and doing and living the right way. People should be celebrating not celebrating the fact that this guy's so controversial, he's crazy, and he's doing this and this and this. People should look at you as a role model and say, well, you know, I'd rather live my life like this guy because he does the right thing. You know, family, church, the whole thing, and a successful champion. I think that's like you said, that's an important, obviously very, very important aspect of this book and your life, you know. And let's talk about the other thing, like the certification program you have here. I like the one part of the certification program that you have, and we have it on the on NPCNewsOnline. We have the banners running for the IAFS, and what the website's what IAFcertification.com is the minister of fitness. I love that you like, you know, teaching the church, some people at the church to, you know, about nutrition and training, because so many people go to the church to seek answers for other things, but how many people have, you know, are obese or have elements of that they're sick because they don't know how to take care of themselves or whatever. So I applaud you for that. I've never seen that before in any certification.
Well, you know something, Frank. We come when you have the information. Information is powerful, and you have the knowledge. You know, we can help people in every arena.
Yeah.
And so one of the things is chairman to the President's Council, which I was the chairman under President Bill Clinton.
Right.
We were always trying to find ways to impact communities, because although you and I can afford a membership at a gym, but there's a lot of people who won't never get to a gym.
It's true.
Some of them don't have gyms in their communities. Then they can't afford it.
Right.
So I thought about, well, how can we impact the communities at large that are maybe left behind and then don't want to go to a gym? Some people are just not comfortable with gyms. So I said, well, if we can take fitness to the churches, because churches are all over the community. Churches, synagogues, they're everywhere. There are community centers everywhere.
Sure.
So I said, well, let's create something called the Ministry of Fitness, which falls under the functional training certification, which that certification is more for your average person, be it a business person, or it's designed for group training, whomever. So that person can actually become certified on the functional training, but then be chosen within their church to be the one to implement it there. So we give them all the tools needed to do that within their church or their community, synagogue, or facility. We've even have people from the Nation of Islam
Wow.
that has gone through the certification program
Hmm.
that's teaching there. We got Israel, we got Brazil, we got one of my master trainers there in Canada. I just talked to him today, Ricardo Gardner. So we got them all over the place.
That's great.
So that's what I'm very proud of, that I can take what I've learned and be able to impact the lives of people throughout communities everywhere.
Hmm. Do you have a date for the NPC Lee Haney Games this year yet?
Yeah, we're looking at November the 14th.
Okay.
So we get ready to gear up and get everything rolling as far as PR is concerned. And we're excited, it's going to be November. So we're hoping that everything will be resolved as far as this COVID during that time. And, the fact that the temperatures are starting to heat up, because it's known that viruses don't do well when it comes to heat.
Right.
A lot of them die from, because, when the body creates heat in the way of a fever, it destroys bacteria. So the sunlight, UV rays, is one of the things that's helping our systems now. They've even said that they know that people who are going outside is healing and recovering a lot better than those who are staying on the inside.
Vitamin D.
So we're hoping that's vitamin D3.
Yeah.
It's the perfect healer. And so, and exercise, that's the perfect creator of thermogenesis and heat. And heat destroys what? Bacteria.
Right.
So we're hoping that all of these things will be behind us, man, and we'll have a great turnout for the games. Last year, we had over 260 athletes from all over the United States.
Wow.
So we're proud of our NPC Lee Haney Games, and proud to create a first-class product to make Jim proud of as far as the NPC, and one that I can put the Lee Haney name to.
Will we see the great Lee Haney guest pose at this event?
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody in on a secret. I have Mr. Keon Pearson.
All right.
Year. This is the first time ever in our 5th year. This is going to be our 6th year that we've ever used had a guest poser, because a lot of times guest posers show up not in good shape. That happens quite a bit. But wow. Keon is my man. This is leading up to the Olympia, so it's not going to create a lot of stress for him. And he's right here in Atlanta. He's local, so I keep my eyes on him. So he's going to be ready. I'm proud to have him.
I'm not a betting man, but you know what? If the great Lee Haney is working with Keon, I don't know. I might have to put my money on Keon.
Keep my eyes on him, man. He's an Excalibur. I love the way that kid looks, man. He got that tape. He got that vacuum, legs. I don't see nothing missing. He looks great.
Are you a huge fan of the classic physique?
I love classic physique. I was really impressed with Patrick Moore.
Patrick Moore. Oh,
with him. He needs a little bit more depth in his traps. That's why I thought he was a little bit lacking right in here. But man, his muscle maturity was very good. He really knows how to display. He can display a little bit better. He's on another level now. I never will forget, Arnold pulled me to the side after the 1983 Olympia and said, "Lee, okay, you look great winning the national world championship, but now you're on the stage with the best of the best. You got to do better with your posing." And so he personally invited me to meet his posing coach when we arrived back in California. I was there as he told me to be. I met her, and the rest is history. You know what? We happened to be on, I think it was NBC.
Oh,
and we were on there together. He was interviewing me. And was it The Wide World of Sports? One of the two. But and he said it openly, and it's on YouTube. He said, if anybody deserves great director, it's Lee Haney. He said, because I saw that potential in him from day one.
Do you stay in touch with the other Olympias? Do they call you for advice?
Oh
Past?
yeah, me and Mike Christian talk
Yeah.
all the time. Sean Ray, me and Sean is always talking. Flex Wheeler, we talk quite a bit. Me and Rich, we just like that, man. We always talking, and me and Lee Labrada, we would text each other, send messages sometime on Facebook or Instagram.
That's great.
So during the hit me up every now and then. I also with Big Ronnie, we on the telephone when I need some advice or hey Ronnie, what do you think about this or that? Or Sean, all the guys, even Lou Frigno.
Hmm.
Lou is a great guy, great friend, I would say. I mean, I looked up to him growing up and still look up to him. I love the picture that he painted. Not just a great athlete, but a great family man. I've loved
Yeah.
that about Lou. And I've called him about some personal things. Lou, what you think about this? This type of business deal and that kind of deal. He's always given me advice from the heart and wished me luck in it and was never negative. I got the utmost respect for him.
Yeah, he's always been nice to me as well. And I remember in Gold's in Venice when I was doing a photo shoot, he was on a bike and he's like, pull your stomach in. He was giving me advice and stuff. And we were actually he was on
Yeah.
Facebook the other day. Um, he was asking me about family and stuff like that. But yeah, he's a very nice guy. But that's what, Jim created this other family for NPC and IFBB people. I mean, you compete and you build relationships with people over decades that last.
And all over the world too.
Oh, like you said, you were on with Sharu in India. I can't even tell you how many emails, DMs we get on a daily basis from around the world now. It's incredible. The NPC Worldwide, the IFBB Professional League, we have so many competitors now that you can talk instantaneously through WhatsApp or whatever it may be. It's like, it's just crazy. It's
Yeah, it is.
growing. But I won't keep you. I know you got your granddaughter and everything, and it's just been a pleasure to talk to you. And it would be great for the NPC News Online and IFBBPro.com if we, from time to time, if you would come on and give us some competitors some help with posing or tips or whatever the need there is for them to be better champions.
I love to, Frank. No doubt about it, man. That's who I am. I love the athletes. I love attending a lot of the events where I can get to talk to athletes at the athletes meetings and get to cheer them on.
Yeah.
I love that. This is who I am. And I'm honored to be a part of what Jim created and has given me a voice in it too. So I'm very honored with that. And I thank you for being there for me and also helping to promote the different things that I've come up with the certification program, with my book, with my website, and all the other things that I do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you, immensely over here at the NPC and IFBB Pro League. So, we know that you're a true gentleman and a champion, and we want to support you as like you support us. And I'm sure the NPC Lee Haney Games is going to be great, and we look forward to seeing pictures and videos from the contest. We'll put them up across the board, and we want everybody to buy TotalLee Awesome book at LeeHaney.com. Get your personalized autograph, or you get it on Amazon Kindle, Kobo, or what is it, Barnes & Noble?
Barnes & Noble, yeah.
There you go. All right, Lee, I appreciate it. And any last words?
Train to stimulate, not annihilate.
There you go.
All right. There we go.
All right, Lee. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay. Take care, brother.
Take care.